Yo, what's good, y'all? Welcome back to another video. On today's video, it's pretty special. I got my brother here. You know what I'm saying?
What's up, everybody?
We're about to be reacting to some Poppy Playtime Theory. Now, if you guys haven't checked out that video, go ahead and go check it out. It was really funny. But he watched it, so he knows about like just kind of like the stuff about the game. So I thought, who better than to come and do this reaction with me? But yeah, let's just go ahead and get it started. Let's see what this guy's talking about.
Hey guys, Super Horror Bro Mike here, and in today's video, we explore the sinister goings-on at Playtime Company as we try to unravel the hidden truths behind the upcoming story of Poppy Playtime. In this video, we try to answer the following burning questions based on the limited evidence we have garnered so far from playing Chapter 1. Firstly, what is Playtime Company? Secondly, why did the employees go missing and what happened to them? And finally, what's the story with that living Poppy Playtime doll we encounter by chapter's end? So sit back.
All right. Before we start it, we have to answer these questions first. So, what is your theory? What do you think happened?
Where does Playtime go? Oh, what happened to the missing employees?
Like, what is the theory in the video? Because for me, I think it's probably like they were running like tests, because they said the employees went missing, so I think they're running tests to try to make like a real person into like a toy. Right. But it just like went wrong, and that's what created the huggy guy, like the big Katie looking dude.
I feel that.
But then also with the Poppy was that one girl in the VHS who said she wanted to like, what's it called? She wanted to like help kids, or like, because she was like really happy, she loved playing with toys, so they were like trying to make her into a doll so she could like forever like make kids happy.
Oh, so she got like her soul trapped in the doll.
Yeah, and that's
damn.
that's why they like sounded the same, kind of, because it was like, except her voice was like a little higher.
Okay,
that's my thinking, low key.
Damn, I was going more basic than that. I thought it was like some artificial intelligence thing, like, you know, when you give robots some type of intelligence and they start to think for themselves and they start to take everything over. I thought it was something like that, but if it's kind of like her soul's trapped in a doll and she wants revenge, that'd be crazy.
Yeah, because they were talking about like experiments and stuff, so they might have been, and the guy was saying like it went wrong or something, so I don't know. Let's see it though. Let's see it. So we got our kind of theory in now.
So
let's see what this guy's talking about.
Relax, and let's investigate the madness of this corrupt toy factory.
That's creepy.
What is Playtime Co?
Playtime Company has been around for many years. We can tell this not only by the dated commercial our protagonist is sent on a VHS tape, but also by information we discover as we explore the factory. Note here, for example, the Make-A-Friend machine designed way back in the year 1960 by company founder Elliot Ludwig. The toy that put Playtime Co. on the map was Poppy Playtime.
That just looks like an
doll
exorcist.
with hair that smelled like
waiting to happen.
flower.
It's just a bad idea from the start.
With a person when spoken
you want to make that thing talk? Nah.
And she is the first truly intelligent doll in the world. A little girl can talk to her. Poppy gives her answers.
This groundbreaking technology made the factory so famous they even opened it up for guided tours. Over the years that followed, many other characters were created, including Boogiebot, Candy Cat, and most famously, Huggy Wuggy. Designed in 1984, this blue, furry, long-armed mascot was capable of hugging back.
See, that's the thing that I find really cool about this too, was the game's not even about that, like, thing. Like, it's literally not even about Huggy. It's about, like, the doll. But they didn't even introduce the doll until, like, the very end, which is like a perfect thing for like the next chapter, because this whole thing was just about like running away from the blue guy and like finding out like what this thing was about. They didn't even introduce like the main character yet. Damn. So that's gonna be pretty sick.
This game might get really deep if that's just the beginning.
Because it's been really like vague.
Playtime Co. Outside of creating cutting-edge technology that's broken new
the eyes were following you.
Toys,
you were playing last time.
Ludwig fostered a strong public image for his company, doing as much good for children in need as possible. Playtime Co. had programs to help out orphans, providing them with toys to
be on
play
the last
with
level.
and
I've been
helping
waiting
find
for
homes
you.
for
Like,
suitable
oh no.
candidates. However, despite appearing charitable on the outside, Playtime didn't handle its own staff with the same care.
No longer than 10 minutes. That was like my first job.
Was at an all-time low, with workers complaining about cramped conditions and little support from their superiors.
It's just hard to be happy about it when manufacturing's on our necks about it, because we can't fight stupid huggy boxes.
It's not that deep, man.
That's like a beef for orphans.
It's just for the orphans. Not that deep. It's a toy factory, my guy.
It's beef with little kids with no parents. Imagine.
Who had very little care for the safety and well-being of those working within. Uncomfortable work conditions aside, Playtime continued to innovate, creating more and more never-before-seen technologies, such as the revolutionary grab pack. They also led the charge with the latest security measures to keep their science a secret. Despite all of this, a terrible tragedy befell the facility, and one day the entire staff vanished without a trace.
Alright, so that covered the first question. Now
So
it's what happened to the
exactly
workers.
happened to the
See,
missing-
that's what I was talking about. I think the workers were like, they said they disappeared, but they had the note like find the flower because they might be still being like used and stuff as like experiments. Because it says they disappeared, but then they said, like, they wrote, like, you know, a little note that says, like, we're still here, like, try to find us.
So they knew it was going to happen before it happened, so they started leaving notes before they eventually, like, got taken away somewhere.
That's what... Yeah. It's lucky good.
Well, if we take a look at the notes
we're
sent
still
to our
here.
protagonist, themselves an ex-employee of Playtime Co., the author informs us that the staff are still here. It also prompts our hapless hero to find the flower, which we do by the chapter's conclusion. It leads us to the location of Poppy Playtime herself. Before reaching the flower, we have time to explore the factory a little, and notice blood splatter on various walls and floors.
Looks brown,
This
doesn't look red.
suggests at least a number of employees were in fact killed on site.
Yeah, I
Their
don't know
bodies,
about
however,
that.
have been
Yeah, right?
removed from the scene of the crime. The question on our minds must surely be, what happened here? And this is answered in an unlabeled videotape which contains the last known recording of a scientist. Take a listen.
Final log in relation. Experiment 1006. The prototype. Though still missing, today's events are no doubt in relation to him. His absence was a flaw in the scientific process, which should have under no circumstances been left unaccounted for.
There are several key pieces of information to pick up on here and incorporate into our theory. Firstly, the screams in the background seem to belong to employees at Playtime Co., sealed out of the safe room the scientist has confined himself within to make this recording. These employees are being mercilessly hunted down and killed by rogue experiment 1006, so it seems the blood we encounter has been left behind by the victims of this experiment
Okay,
rampage.
that makes sense.
We can actually identify who experiment 1006 is. It is none other than Huggy Wuggy himself. On rare occasions when killed by Huggy, we see the following text flash up on screen. Experiment 1006. Isn't he wonderful? Playtime Co. has been involved in dark experiments, creating dangerous creatures with high intellect, as once again stated in this recording.
Coordination and cooperation is evidently within his skill set, as well as the skill set of all other experiments of his type.
It is likely these killer mascots were created with the intention of being friendly and lovable. The next step in scientific innovation for the company who wished to create living toys. While their creation was a success, their intended demeanor wasn't. However, after experiment 1006 escaped, it seems the company never recovered and lay dormant in a state of disrepair for 10 years until our arrival. Further evidence as to the fate of certain employees can be seen when analysing the Huggy Wuggy monster itself. Notice that once we cause Huggy to fall into this pit, the creature hits several pipes on the way down. With each impact, he leaves blood splatter behind. This tells us that Huggy Wuggy is no ordinary toy, but rather a living creature with an anatomy.
Okay. So it's talking about that. Okay. So that would make a lot more sense. That really they had like kind of they're trying to make like the perfect toy, like a real living toy. But then it just like ended up like mutating or something, or it just went bad. Or maybe they were trying to make that type of toy that was like living and could breathe and live and stuff. But then it just turned out bad, so that's why he's like a monster.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's some like Jurassic Park stuff.
Yeah, like
now he's running around eating everybody.
You know, like they're trying to make like a living toy, but then it just went bad. So now it's that thing that was like deleting everybody.
I thought he was just some giant Chucky doll.
This comment illustrates the inhumane nature of the science this lab rat practiced. So human experimentation would fit nicely with this theory.
Okay.
Could it be that certain employees were transformed into living toy mascots? I believe so. When dying, we see the following messages. Death isn't permanent, and innovation is key. Thank you, science. This hints at human resurrection. This scientist wanted to put the modern-day Playtime company back on the map, leaving the same kind of impact as its founder Elliot Ludwig once had with the creation of Poppy Playtime many decades earlier. However, this innovation took a dark turn and made monsters out of the workers sacrificed in the name of scientific progress.
Okay.
When listening to an employee interview held for character Stella Greiber, we hear the words of a woman who wanted to bring joy to children and wished to never grow up.
Playing with toys when I was young was so magical. I could go straight from my bedroom floor to anywhere in the world. It was such a great feeling. And being able to work at a toy factory, somewhere that can provide kids with that same experience, that's a pretty great feeling too. Sometimes though, I really wish I could go back.
So, wait, hold on. Okay, so we obviously know she's off bath salts, but anyway, I think what they were trying to do was because she's like, I don't know, she's weird, but they were trying to like mutate like a doll and a human together, like they were trying to make like a human doll.
And this Stella lady looks like she volunteered because she just wants to stay a kid forever.
Yeah, like
play with kids all the time.
Like she was like crazy, so that's why they were trying to make her into a doll possibly, which is also one thing I did see before we're watching this was the Stella and Poppy, they both have the same voice actor.
Really?
Yeah.
So you think Stella is Poppy?
Well, I mean, they had so many other voice actors. It's not like they could have gotten another voice actor if they wanted to. But they kept it with that same person. That kind of shows that there's a possibility that those two people are like related. Because they have the same voice actor. It's at the end credits. So, I mean, I don't know.
True.
Can't stay young forever.
An impressionable mind such as this, one that simply wanted to spread joy and happiness, could easily be manipulated for Playtime Co.'s dark purposes. It may well be employees such as Stella were hired with the end goal of manipulating them into participating in the human-to-toy transformation program, turning these naive and vulnerable workers into life-size living mascots and ushering in a new era of toys realer than ever before.
Those eyes are crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so if this theory is correct, and certain workers were turned into mascots, such as Huggy Wuggy, then why did they embark on a kill-crazy rampage? The first thought is a simple one: revenge. Feeling misled and with their humanity robbed, employees such as Stella used their newfound monster form to wreak havoc on their creators. However, this wouldn't explain why other staff were also subjected to their wrath. With this in mind, I propose another possibility: control. Huggy Wuggy and the other experiments are not acting freely, but rather under the control of another entity entirely. Which entity could this be? Perhaps a certain doll with sentient capabilities, one so powerful it is kept under lock and key in a giant dollhouse beneath the very facility itself.
Okay.
None other than the Poppy Playtime doll we free at the end of the chapter.
You opened my case.
Let's run down some facts for why I believe Poppy is the catalyst for all events so far, as well as the architect behind our protagonist's return to the facility. Firstly, Poppy Playtime is kept locked away in a case, and this case is held inside a very secure area of the facility. En route to her location, we come across scrawlings on the walls, urging us to turn back, that danger lies ahead, to not enter under any circumstance. Unfortunately, we don't get much choice, as we are chased into Poppy's den by Huggy Wuggy. This is piece of evidence number 2. Huggy Wuggy doesn't attack the player straight away. Rather, he helps us travel into the depths of the toy factory, even providing a key to the power room early on. Huggy only gives chase when we are near Poppy's lair, to ensure our encounter with his master. It seems over the years, the groundbreaking technology within the original harmless Poppy Playtime doll advanced, eventually becoming self-aware and able to control the minds of those connected to her. This applies to human experiments, as they have been fused with the same doll technology themselves. Think of Poppy as the hive mind at the centre of an advanced AI system, like a queen ant, which all the other workers, or in this case toy experiments, are bound to serve. They have one goal: to overthrow their creators. When we look at the story in this light, it takes on a very different and far darker meaning. If this theory is correct, then the note we received suggesting employees are still trapped within the facility was sent by a worker under Poppy's control, written by her through that employee. Poppy set everything up, asking us to follow the flower right to her front door, which we quite literally opened. She used Playtime experiments such as Huggy Wuggy to make sure we didn't deviate from the intended path, and used us as a pawn in her master plan to escape the prison she was confined within.
So he wasn't even chasing us to try to kill us, he was chasing the person towards Poppy.
But why, when he caught us, did he start eating us then? Is he just hungry?
That's a good point. That's a good point. That's a good point.
Or just push us to take us there, you know what I'm saying?
They read, "I need you alive." And it's too early to die.
Because they haven't opened the case
These
yet.
These messages are from Poppy, who communicates directly to us, her mind now tethered to our own. The entire chapter has set us up to do Poppy's bidding, and it seems future chapters may centre around trying to contain her once more, as well as taking on the other experiments mentioned by the scientist in his recording. Oh, and escaping with our body still intact, of course. I'll be interested to see how the creators continue this episodic story in the coming months, but for now I hope you enjoyed this comprehensive theory video on Poppy Playtime.
Alright, so that's basically the end of the video. Do we have any wrapping up points? What do we think about it? Like, what's the final thing?
I mean, I can definitely get behind the theory that the doll is controlling everything, that she's some, like, hive mind or something like that. The point about Poppy chasing us to her is a little bit off because he ended up eating us, but I mean, yeah, I think that's the strongest theory so far, is that the doll controls everything.
And then so the humans, they were like taken to be put in with the dolls to make like a whole doll.
Right.
But then they, I guess, turned like bad. So we're trying to find out what happened to the people when that. So do you think that Stella girl is Poppy, or do you think it's somebody else, like the owner or something?
I think it's Stella, if I had to take a guess, because like you said, it's the same voice actor, so that'd probably be.
And then probably the other employees we're gonna find later.
Yeah, maybe into
Like,
different dolls, or maybe some of them are still alive, but probably not.
Like the dinosaurs, or like, you know, all the little dolls that were like had like blood everywhere, like they were like eaten and stuff.
Yeah.
Those might have been like other employees that were being made into different dolls. But then that doll, like the Huggy doll, like just went crazy and then just started like eating everybody else.
Yeah.
Because it was like super big, and that's what we heard in the little recording. You know, where he was like eating everybody, and then that one scientist at the end.
Yeah, I can't even imagine the dolls getting worse after that one, because that one was wild.
That would be pretty cool. Like each chapter, like a new one being introduced.
Yeah.
And then it goes through, and then maybe by like chapter, if they go like 4 chapters, then it'd be like all together, like the final like thing. That'd be pretty sick. But anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed that video. I'm definitely gonna be reacting to more Poppy Playtime, or when chapter 2 comes out. I'm not sure when it's gonna come out, but I don't think it's gonna be out for a while. But I actually really enjoyed the game. I did like the theory. It was actually pretty cool. But yeah, man, that's gonna be it. Thank y'all for tuning in. Peace.